Join us in the grand finale of our Holland America Noordam Asia vlog series. In this episode, we've definitely saved the best until last. As we arrive in Da Nang, we visit the amazing Hoi An and Halong Bay in Vietnam, and we arrive in our final destination of Hong Kong.
Right then.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Yes, we're in Da Nang. So we've arrived here and we're here overnight. We've got, there's a free shuttle bus to go into town, so we're going to get that shortly. We've also got a night tour to Hoi An. So we're really looking forward to this port. But let's show you our view from our balcony today. And as with a lot of the Asian ports, it's full of tankers and fishing boats and other little boats. But this is our view in Da Nang. The weather is dropping a little bit. It's about 24 degrees. It's still pleasant. But as we get further north, it's going to get cooler and it looks wetter, doesn't it, Paul?
Yes, it does.
But yeah, so that's our lovely view this morning. It's another industrial port we've explained before. You just do not get picturesque ports. Well, we haven't so far on this cruise. However, this port gives us access to obviously Da Nang city, Da Nang beach area, and also Hoi An. We booked an excursion before we got on board because we wanted to see Hoi An at night because it's a UNESCO site that's supposed to be absolutely stunning. And we decided in the morning that we would get off and use the free shuttle that Holland America put on to take us into Da Nang. And it takes you to the city. Now, to explain, Da Nang is, if you want to go to the beach here, it's the opposite direction than the city. So the shuttle bus wasn't going to the beach area, it was going to the city. And we thought, let's go and see it because we've never been to this part of Vietnam before.
Before we get off, let's show you the lovely view from the pool deck.
Just waiting for the shuttle. As you see, there's a little queue, but if you do want to do anything independently with some tour guides, they're here ready to take your business, aren't they, Paulie?
Yeah, indeed.
But we're to get the shuttle into Da Nang and have a wander.
Yeah, that's where.
Yes, we are.
And it drops you right by...
It's right by the famous Dragon Bridge.
Yes.
So it's a bridge and it's got a dragon that goes like this all across the bridge.
Which was fabulous to see. All around there was lovely gardens and, as Paul said, sculptures. So let's show you a little bit of what our eyes were feasted with when we got off the bus. Feasted with.
Feasted on.
Exactly.
Da Nang is the fourth largest city in Vietnam by population and the largest by area. It's situated on the western Pacific Ocean of Vietnam at the mouth of the Han River. It's one of the most important port cities in Vietnam. The shuttle bus dropped us at APEC Park, right next to tourist information, where maps are readily available. The park is full of beautiful flower beds and sculptures, with the centrepiece being a large white metal structure that was designed to look like a kite. It contains almost 200 tons of steel. APEC stands for Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. The Dragon Bridge spans the Han River. It's 666 metres long and 37.5 metres wide. It took almost 4 years to build, with construction completed in 2013. Every Saturday and Sunday night at 9 p.m, there is a fire and water show where the dragon breathes real fire.
So after wandering around those lovely areas and admiring this fantastic bridge, we were just mesmerised by the mopeds. Vietnam, there's just millions and millions of mopeds. And crossing the road can be quite tricky. You've got to be really brave to say, right, let's just go. And they will just all go around you. But it can be quite daunting if you're not used to that sort of traffic.
It's entertaining, but it's just, you don't do a stop-go thing.
No.
When you're crossing the road,
keep going.
You cross the road.
Yeah.
And the thing is as well, don't think that because you're walking on the pavement that you're safe, because you'll get people going the wrong way up a one-way street.
Yeah.
You'll get people going down the pavement if it's more convenient. There literally is no rules apart from now. We were very surprised. Unlike Thailand, everybody's got crash helmets on.
Well, most of them. What was the most worrying thing that you saw is you see all the adults have crash helmets on, but they have two kids in between them that don't, which is very strange. But yeah, so the traffic's mental, but like you say, mesmerising to see. We went on a search, like Thailand has a lot of 7-Elevens, we went on a search for like a mini mart to Paul needed some deodorant, and we wanted to just see if we could get some.
Else we needed now.
Well, I was craving some crisps. But anyway, so...
The truth is out.
We went off the sort of beaten track of that main street and headed to some back streets. I must admit, Vietnam's full of coffee shops. If you love hot, sweet coffee, which isn't our favourite thing, then you will love Vietnam. But we had a good wander around, very uneven. If you've got mobility scooters, coming to Asia is a real challenge, because I don't think there's anywhere that's got really sort of flat pavements apart from Japan or Singapore. Certainly Thailand and Vietnam do not have that, and you've got to be very wary of where you step. But it was great to see obviously all the coffee shops, some really quite posh shops against like a big pile of rubbish. A very diverse environment, isn't it, Da Nang? And we did eventually, it took us ages, we found a supermarket called Kmart, and we went in there and Paul found some deodorant and some crisps. We haven't eaten them yet though, have we, Paulie? No. So yeah, so we thoroughly enjoyed our time in Da Nang, and it was interesting to see. Would we rush back? I'm not really sure.
I think, which obviously we're going to go on to, the beach area is far nicer than being in the city, which obviously we didn't know at this point.
No, we didn't. Our excursion was going at 4:45, so we had to be in the world stage as usual. The organisation was excellent with the excursions, can't fault it at all, and we headed out to our coach ready to take the hour's drive to Hoi An. Hoi An is a UNESCO site that is just beautiful.
It's thousands of years old, but it's influenced now by obviously Vietnamese, but there's a lot of Chinese influence, a lot of Japanese influence, and a lot of French influence, which is prevalent. Which, you know, when you're walking around, you see all the different styles of architecture. But it's Hoi An by night, and it's set on like a canal system, and both sides of the canal.
It's a river, isn't it, I think?
No, it's canals.
Oh, okay.
I did some Googling today.
Oh.
It's canals, and you can do a boat trip on the canal. All the boats have got the Chinese lanterns on.
It's beautiful.
You can buy little lanterns to float on the canal for good luck. All the shops and bars and restaurants are all lit up. There's flashing lights everywhere. There's music. It is a proper sensory overload.
Yeah.
But I have to say, it was fabulous.
Yeah. Let's show you here. We'll show you how we got there to start with. We were on a coach. The coaches can't get into Hoi An, so then you're transferred to like these big golf carts, aren't they, really? So we all had to get on these golf carts to then be taken into the centre. But this is some of the sights and scenes that we've seen on our fantastic evening out in Hoi An.
Included in our excursion was a set meal at the Morning Glory restaurant. As you can see, there was a great selection on offer which all went down very well, especially the meatballs with noodles. However, the very odd looking squid stuffed with pork remained almost untouched. After an excellent meal, we headed back out to explore more sights, sounds and smells of Hoi An. We had a fabulous time on our excursion to Hoi An. It really is one of the most unique places we visited on our travels. This really is a must-see place when cruising to Asia. We could have happily stayed here for hours, which would have given us time to enjoy a drink at the Mr. Bean bar. Did you know Mr. Bean was big in Vietnam? Of course, in all the excitement of going to Hoi An, we touched upon the beachfront in Da Nang. Now, you have to drive past the beach, which is miles long, and it's beautiful sand. And our guide was telling us that at this time of year, the water is quite rough, the seawater. He said, but give it another 3 or 4 weeks, the water will totally change colour, it'll be a lot calmer, and the beaches will start to get busy.
We're here in February, middle February.
So if you were like middle of March, he said, because the summertime is from February up to October, November.
September, wasn't it, I think? Yeah.
But the beachfront area is fabulous new build hotels, but stacks and stacks of spas, restaurants, bars. It just looked
looks like a very happening
area. It looked like
area.
a really happening place. And in hindsight, but I think people would maybe have been happier having a shuttle bus to the beach.
Or have both options. Have a shuttle to the city centre and have a shuttle to the beach, because that would have been really helpful. And because it did look, Paul and I said, oh my gosh, actually if we came to Da Nang we would base ourselves there. So you had access to Hoi An and access to a beautiful beach. That's what we would do in the future. So back on board, and it was about 10 o'clock, wasn't it?
Guess what we did?
We went to the buffet and we got ourselves some more milk, because we got a kettle in our cabin, which is we're really happy about, and we bring our own coffee and our sugar and stuff. So we came back to the cabin and had a cup of coffee and watched. What film are we on now, Paulie?
We watched Inside Man, which is
another good film.
Another good film. I bet it's 20 odd years old. Denzel Washington. I've never seen a bad film with Denzel Washington. One of the greatest actors of all time, in my humble opinion. Great British actor called Clive Owen.
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster was in it, and Willem Dafoe.
Yes, we recommend that film too.
It's all about a bank robbery, and it's got the best twist at the end.
So today was a very exciting day. We had reached Halong Bay. It's been a place that's been on my to-do list for a long time. And this was the view that we were met with. So docked up and ready to go. What's the matter?
Finally, a view off our balcony that was very pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, it was a bit misty. But it wasn't a tanker.
You could see all the potential. And anybody who doesn't know, when Carol said Halong Bay, as soon as you see what we're going to show you, you'll be like, oh yeah, I definitely. Yeah,
you'll have seen it in films.
It's used in some James Bond films. It's used in King Kong, but it's just. Am I jumping ahead there?
You are jumping a little bit.
I'm quite excited. Right, I'm going to shut up.
It was a fantastic day.
Let me hand you over to my esteemed colleague,
absolutely fantastic,
Mrs. Morgan Slater.
We started with breakfast in our room, which is complimentary in Holland America, and that was a lovely start to the day. Right then, so before we go on our Halong Bay excursion, we've ordered some breakfast in the room, and as you can see here, we've ordered some toast, which is in there. We've ordered some butter, we've ordered some extra milk to keep in our fridge for our coffee. We've got 2 pots of tea, and Paulie's ordered a American breakfast, didn't you? Let's have a look at this. 2 eggs, hash brown, sausage and bacon. So let's tuck in, Paulie. And then we headed to the world stage where they've got a great system, we've said before, with their excursions with Holland America. But anyway, we were number 19 and we waited to be called, and we headed out to our, well, it wasn't a coach, it was a little buggy, like an extended golf buggy, wasn't it? And they took us to literally about 3 minutes down the road where we picked up the boat. So we're on the little shuttle, taking us to the boat. So we're at the back, like the naughty kids.
We are. Hopefully it won't wheelie and throw us off.
Morning. So it was an absolutely fantastic day, wasn't it, Pauline?
Just a lovely bit of scenic cruising, I believe the title is. And then our first stop, well, our only stop, was Thien Cung Cave, which you have to climb just over 100 steps. So you do have to have some good mobility, and you do have to have a bit of fitness about you because it's pretty steep. And obviously once you get to the top, you explore the caves, and then you have to walk back down the other side, which again is over 100 steps. So if you've got mobility issues, you could stay on the boat, and which is what not a lot of people, but some people stayed on the boat and just relaxed and looking out at the lovely sea views. But the majority chose to walk the 103 steps, I think it was, and this is the sights that those lucky people got to see.
So how was the cave then, Pauline Morgan?
It was fascinating. There was mites and tights, there was all sorts of stuff going on. I have to say, it was a bad choice to take my fleece.
Oh, was it?
Because once you started walking, there's a lot of steps, so I wouldn't be recommended for somebody with mobility issues.
No.
And somebody who's not very fit like myself. But yes, it was very, very interesting indeed. A lot of walking, some pretty spectacular rock formations, which hopefully I've managed to capture in one form or another.
Yes.
So if after this bit of talking there's nothing at all, you'll know that my photos were rubbish.
Or check this
out. Oh my god, it's amazing.
And after visiting the cave, we set off for some more scenic cruising and a lunch, which was very entertaining. We were sat there with this couple. I couldn't work out their accent, but they could speak English. As with Asia, when you order a meal in an Asian restaurant, obviously it depends on the standard, but if you're eating authentic Asian food, their food is often not very hot, and it comes out in random order. So we had first come out some soup, Then we had some prawns. Then we had some fried fish, and then we had some chicken bits,
bread and butter,
and then the rice came out at the end. So it was all, and then came out the steaming pile of
noodles
and some vegetables, some sort of stir-fried cabbage. So actually all the flavours together were lovely, but it just came in a random order that us Brits would have had the rice first, then put that on.
Yeah.
However, it was very entertaining, the food was delicious, and we were just sat there with this amazing scenery all around us having some lunch.
And I think it sums up how having a sense of humour is international, because like Carol said, there was a couple sat
with us. Yeah.
English definitely wasn't their first language, and we were, every time they brought something random out, which you're thinking, well, what are they going to bring out next? And we just look at each other and all have a little laugh to ourselves.
Yeah.
But when they brought the rice out last, by the time they brought the rice out, we'd had everything else.
No.
So I ended up having a bowl of plain rice with some soy sauce on it,
which
I have to say
it was
delicious. But it was just really, really random. And yes, the chef certainly worked to his own agenda, not to.
Well, I think like a lot of these Thai kitchens, Asian kitchens, and we're in Vietnam, not Thailand. They went with what they got.
Yeah.
They might have 2 woks, or they might have just a little burner. So, but actually, it was very entertaining and an absolute fabulous morning.
It was, yeah.
This excursion, I think, has been our favourite of the whole trip.
It's been really good.
We've had some good excursions, but this has been, well, because I've wanted to go there for so many years, it really was the icing on the cake. Right then, so as soon as we got back from the Halong Bay cruise, Dan had spotted in the corner that there was a hop-on, hop-off bus, which was literally a very short walk from the ship, which is the first port we've got to where you didn't have to get a transfer somewhere to actually do that, which was great to see.
And because we were next to the ship, we could utilise the ship's Wi-Fi, because we didn't know how much the ho-ho, as some people call them, bus, how much it was. And Dan said, well, I've just gone online and it's $17. So when we walk up, if it's, $30, we'll just book it online. Anyway, much to our surprise, when we walked up, it was actually only $13 to book it there and then, which is as near as £10 a person.
Exactly.
So which we thought was a bargain. So the next bus was due at 2 o'clock, and it was about 3 minutes to 2, and even though I'm a very impatient man, I still held out for those 3 minutes.
You did.
And we had a fabulous time. Now, just a brief bit of history. Halong Bay is, each side of the bay is the city, and up until 2006, I believe, you had to go all round the houses to get to the other side, and then they had a cable car put in, And then they had a bridge built, which was financed by Japan, I believe, and Japanese engineering, and that was finished construction in 2006, which then makes going from one side of the city to the other a doddle.
It's a beautiful place. Architecturally, it was very French in essence. There's some modern buildings with just some old. The beautiful, beautiful beach. Anyway, rather than talking about it, let's show you exactly some of the sites that we've seen on the hop on, hop off bus. And as you can see, it was great fun. It did get very windy up on the bridge, as you can see from thankfully we wore our hoodies, but it was great fun. And it was just great to get a really oversight of Halong Bay, just not the rock formations that are out at sea, but the actual essence of the city and the beach area. And we both agreed that this is the place that we would like to come back to and spend some land time, 3 or 4 days, just to really get to know it better. Because it looked like it had some fantastic restaurants, fantastic bars, beautiful beach, and just would love to experience a little bit more of it.
It's such a fabulous way to, and for £10 a head, I know it sounds daft that you're only 2 hours or whatever it was, but it really gives you an oversight of, like Carol said, thinking, yeah, you get a vibe for somewhere.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. And you think, yeah, I could spend more time here. And like I said, that beach,
oh, beautiful,
was miles
with
long,
all the rock formations in the distance.
Yeah.
It was like, this was like sort of wow moments, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Absolute
most
wow
definitely.
moments. So yeah, so Halong Bay is somewhere we definitely would love to come back to. So back on board, and I decided to just stay in the cabin for a little bit, and you and Dan went off to the quiz, didn't you?
Me and Dan, yes. And then when we got there, we were slightly embarrassed because it was a quiz all about love songs and romance.
Because it was Valentine's Day.
It was. I don't even know how can I just say these things?
Just show them, Paulie.
Show them. And of course, we smashed it out.
Yeah, winner chicken dinner.
Winner chicken dinner, and we had 31 out of 34. And I think the second best had about 26 points.
Ooh.
So I'm very, very pleased with our.
So you've got 5 tulips now, if you can see over here.
Yeah,
We've got a collection of 5. Sail away from Halong Bay wasn't until 8 o'clock, was 8:30 actually. And Halong Bay at night is just this very neon. Lots of lights, lots of the hotels lit up. Obviously it was Valentine's Day, so there's lots of hearts everywhere. And they do a lot of night cruises that are obviously party cruises, which we could listen from the back of the ship. So we headed to the Seaview Bar because we thought that'd be a great spot to watch Sail Away.
But what I just want to say as well about the Seaview Bar, we have been on so many cruises, because it's a pool bar in effect, you get to like 5-6 o'clock in the afternoon, bang, that's closed. They don't close a Seaview Bar. They appreciate that people want to sit out in the fresh air, overlooking, even though some of the ports have been horrible, it's still, you're out in
not
the
horrible.
No, but they're not nice.
They've had great time.
Great time, but not aesthetically pleasing to the eye when you're looking out at big cranes and stuff. But Halong Bay is not like that. You've got the bridge which is lit up. The cable cars are lit up, and it's not stacks and stacks of high-rise buildings by any stretch of the imagination, but it's certainly very pleasing to look at, and obviously there's a few little panoramas for you can appreciate what we saw as we were having a quiet little drink at the sea view pool.
We also want to give a shout out to Benjamin and the staff out on the sea view pool, because they have been exceptional, as we've said around the ship. But we stayed out there till about 10:30, and then the boys said, "Oh, we're hungry."
We didn't have any dinner, in our defence.
You had a toasty when you got back on board.
Yeah, that was
Hours ago.
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Anyway, so we popped up to the buffet. I'd seen the lovely Mary, and Paul and Dan enjoyed.
I enjoyed a plethora of different stuff,
You did.
which I can't remember all of it, but I can tell you it was all delicious, and it was serviced with a smile from Mary, as per usual, because she's lovely.
She is.
So sadly, we've reached our final destination of Hong Kong, which brings this fabulous cruise to an end. We'd like to thank all the staff on board Noordam for making this cruise so memorable. It really has been amazing. We can't wait to be back on board in 2026, where we would depart on a 42-night cruise around Australia, New Zealand and South Pacific. Our next video will be all about our time in Hong Kong, including a tour and review of our hotel. But don't forget, we've got over 1,000 videos on our YouTube channel, so why not watch one of those next?